I'm not sure if you're ready or not, but we are live. How about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I am your host, Jeffrey Lee, senior recruiting editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is, what is today? Sunday, November the 12th, 2023. We are damn near 24 hours removed from Auburn beating the bacon off of them Hogs, 48-10. I don't know what team that was, but we'll talk about it. Plus, we can talk about that. We can talk about the number one JUCO in the country, safety, committing to Auburn. We can talk about a 4-star tight end committing to Auburn. We can talk about the number one edge rusher on Auburn's board committing to Auburn. Here to answer all your questions, to address all your comments with me, Mr. Jhead, Mr. Cole Pinkston. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
All right.
Man, listen,
all right.
I didn't know what we were going to talk about tonight. I mean, do we have anything to talk about?
I was like, what personal question are we going to ask tonight?
Know what?
We need to do that.
We should ask all the callers, who was the panelist on this show that said we weren't getting to 7 wins? Who was that panelist?
Hold on. I was reading Zach's text. What happened?
I said the personal question of the week is, who was the panelist that didn't believe we were getting to 7 wins, guys?
Hey. Hey, y'all don't be hard on Zach. Hey, y'all want to update? We ask every week. Do you want to update? Y'all still at 7-5?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still at 7-5.
8-4, baby!
Oh, I knew it was coming.
Let's go. If I'm gonna be wrong, I'm gonna be wrong.
Oh boy.
Not really. Alabama by 10. But I will say this. That team yesterday that we saw in Fayetteville, Arkansas, I have no idea where that came from. Nobody did, right? I mean, I told Justin on the modcast, I think Cole was in and out that day. I said, there are 4 outcomes, 3 of which I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked by.
Hey! He's just going for all the emojis.
I would not be shocked by a close Auburn win, a close Auburn loss. I would not be surprised or shocked if Arkansas beat the brakes off Auburn. I wouldn't.
Right.
I would be shocked if Auburn beat the shit out of them. That's exactly what happened from the get-go. Offense, defense, special teams all came together after 10 games? How many Auburn played? It all came together on the road, nonetheless. Peyton Thorne, 12 for 20, should have been 14. Probably should have been 14 or 15. He threw for 180, 163.
Just a buck, just a shade over 160.
I tell you what, 2 minutes, fellas. Your thoughts, Cole. We'll start with you.
You might remember I had a pretty good feeling about the game. I thought Auburn could win. I didn't know it would be like that. But I'd seen enough good trends and good signs with the offense and with Peyton Thorne and everything all collectively that they were going to be okay in a game like that. And Arkansas, it just felt like they were sort of on the way down. And we've actually talked earlier in the season about Sam Pittman being on the hot seat, and we all kind of went back and forth on that. I wasn't sure, none of us were sure, but it's weird how last year it was Arkansas that put the nail in the coffin on Harsin, and now it's Auburn. Ooh. Kind of strange how that worked out, but I think everybody can see the progress Auburn's making right now. Not just on the field, on the recruiting trail. I mean, it's hard to even criticize much of what's going on right now. You're liking the trajectory of the program.
Jhead.
That was, to steal a line from both Cole and I's vocabulary, that was the proof of concept game that Auburn was looking for to sell to recruits. That was it. That was a comprehensive start to finish offense that is attractive to recruits, a defensive line that controlled that game from start to finish, pass rush, special teams. And to steal my favorite slogan ever from Pat Dye, it is no small thing to go into an SEC environment, particularly on the road, play together as a team and that way with that kind of a win. It's not, guys. That was a special one. That was a good one to get in year one for Hugh Freeze, for him to turn around to mothers, fathers, street agents, players themselves and say, this is what we can do when you're here next year. This is what we're capable of putting on the field each and every week if you come to Auburn and you make it special. That was his recruiting pitch. We said he was going to use it as a platform all season long. Well, now we've gotten to where you have that platform game. You're on a 3-game winning streak. If you handle business against New Mexico State, who arguably is the best out-of-conference opponent you're going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately, you roll into the Alabama game on a 4-game winning streak. Your heart is a firecracker on the recruiting trail. Jordan Hare is going to be at a fever pitch. Can you imagine what that game could be?
You know what's good when the only thing I could find to critique was Keontae Scott loafing his ass into the end zone in that punt return. I swear I've never wanted Arkansas to make a tackle as bad as I did on that last. I wanted that kid to get tackled. He deserved it. And Cam not blocking for Caleb Wooden. Cam's just loafing down the field, and here come 2 Arkansas guys. So, anyways, that's being very nitpicky, but I can't. And loafing don't agree with me.
Caleb Wooden looked like a nose guard trying to run the football down the field.
He got run down by, I think, a nose guard.
Yeah, God bless him.
Our center in this case.
I was like, me and Jeff could score on this play. What is going on?
I was like, is he hurt? Yeah. And then
I went back and watched the with Andy Bertram calling the game because I didn't hear it during the game. And he was like, "That's going to be a touchdown," and then well, maybe not. And what about Derek Mason? Derek Mason's calling the game. That was his guy. Remember?
Yep.
Caleb Wooden was his guy. I mean, look, it was a good play by Caleb Wooden. He just was. You expected a DB to be a little bit faster than that, but
I was surprised Derek Mason didn't go. Yeah, I recruited him, and he's a great kid. You never heard him insert him.
No, he doesn't.
You wouldn't even know he coached at Auburn. 2 years ago, a year ago.
No, last year he was there. Last year.
Yeah, he'll call kids by their nickname sometimes, and that's when you know he's got a personal relationship with them.
Yeah.
But I have truly enjoyed hearing Mace call games because of the way he sets things up, the detail he gives you on the back end, the way he kind of shows you different schematic advantages that certain teams have. I mean, it's just fantastic, man.
That was the cross zone, and here they are running. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Absolutely. Cool. He's talking about rotating safeties. You got middle field open, middle field closed, walking you through what match 3 is. I mean, it's kind of a tutorial. If you're really paying attention for the football nerds, it's, I mean? It's like, hey, I'm really getting something out of this.
Empty backfield. This is when Auburn blitzes. This is when Auburn likes to bring the blitz. When empty backfield, they damn sure did.
A lot of people look, every announcer, for whatever reason, people love to hate on announcers. I don't understand it, but I have one, so I guess I do understand it. Y'all know who that is. Anyway, I like Derek Mason. Yeah. I hear Beth is really, really nice. I just can't get past her voice. Anyway, Derek Mason's a very good analyst. So is Gary Danielson. So are all these guys. I really appreciate a good analyst that knows the game, and Derek Mason's been great to me. I've enjoyed him.
Yes.
Well,
I want you to know my wife watches the show because she wants us to do one of these questions like we were doing, and we haven't done it the past couple of weeks.
Right.
And she's like, "Where's the question?"
Let's fire it up in the chat. Give us the
She don't watch it for me.
I thought Cole posed a great question on the message board 2 weeks ago, and Cole, I was going to make that our personal question of the week, the POW. It was, when you go to move a dresser, do you take the drawers out and move it, or do you leave the drawers in?
I'm really passionate about that one, and that's why I put it on the board.
Okay, let me explain something to you, Cole. You're what, 30?
29.
29. Now, we won't make you 30. I guarantee you the answers will vary by age, because when I was 29, I would say, leave those drawers in there, grab the bottom of that, and let's go. Yep. At 41 plus 6, I go, take those damn drawers out, empty them. It's the easiest way. At 29-year-old says the easiest way is to close the drawers, pick it up, and let's go. Mm-hmm. A 47-year-old says the easiest way and the smartest way is take those drawers out, empty them, and let's make 2 trips, 3 trips if we have to. That's the easy way. That's the smart way. 29-year-old says the smart way is to grab the sumbitch and let's go.
Correct. And I'm a grip it and rip it, just go. But it all depends on who my moving partner is.
A fair question. I mean,
that statement dictates the terms.
But look, it's better. We need to ask people this because I had my own moving company. I did this for a living for a while. And I was obsessed with efficiency. So taking the drawers out wasted my time. And I was like, no, I don't have time for that. We have got to be moving. And I don't care how heavy it is. It's more efficient that way to me, and I like it for that reason. And I get why you would take them
by
out.
the hour. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that absolutely, completely agree. It's going to determine the. I think that's a fair question. Well, if all the callers, and by the way, this is a call-in show, 701-779-9585. Let's get to the phones as soon as possible. If you got if you want to opine on that question, even Miss Coach, give us a call and let us know. Before we get to the phone lines, I had a couple people asking. I need a house, big dog, in or around Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, and I don't know who to call. I got the person right here for you. She's downstairs, as a matter of fact. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Absolutely a 5-star realtor. Don't believe me? Give her a shot. Give her a try. If you're not satisfied, call me back. I'll call you a liar. All right, give her a call. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. She can sell it. She can find you something to buy. And give her a call. Tell her we sent you. All right, big dog Zach, coming to the front. Get us to the phone lines.
All right, fingers crossed. I had the problem fixed earlier today, but my computer just crashed.
Oh, yeah.
Roll with it.
Apologies to everybody for last week's show. It was me and Cole, we were struggling. We didn't know what to do without Jhead.
I did not.
919. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Oh, this is Ace from Twitter. How y'all doing?
Ace. My man Ace. I think I know Ace.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Damn, he can't hear me.
Zach, you go ahead and just let him know to ask the question and we'll respond.
Yeah. So when you guys call in, just ask your question and then we'll hit the questions after you guys ask them.
All right. So can I go ahead and go? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, first off, I just want to answer the question. Oh, yeah, we getting up and we getting up out of there with that dress. We don't got time. I'm 24. But
he's a young cat.
Well, I got two. Who do they feel most likely will land now that Jimbo Fisher has left Texas A&M? Cam Coleman or Ryan Williams? And also, do you feel like we'll keep Payne Thorne going into next season, or do you feel like we'll spin the block on Grayson McCall? Yeah, I appreciate you guys, War Damn Eagle, and I'm booking 8-4, Jay Lee. 8-4. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Boogie.
You got a thumbs down for that.
Oh, hey.
Who did?
You got a thumbs down for the flex for some reason.
Oh, for real? That computer was like, big dog, put that shit down. Okay, great question, man. When I jumped on the call before we jumped on live, we had some talk about Cam Coleman going on between Cole and Mr. Jhead about Cam Coleman.
Yes.
The question Mr. Ace wants to know is, has anything changed as far as Cam Coleman, Ryan Williams? Do you think Auburn has a better shot with? I think we all agreed it was Ryan Williams a week ago. Has your opinions changed?
Yeah.
Cam Coleman, folks, is a 5-star wide receiver from Central Phoenix City, and he is committed to Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher obviously was. What was he done today, Jhead? What happened to Jimbo Fisher?
The coaching carousel got started with a $70 million firing, 19 of which is owed to him in 30 days. And then he goes and gets a Bobby Bonilla contract where he's going to get $7 million for a year for the rest of his life. It is ridiculous. All right. Let me get on my rant real quick and we'll get back to the question. But let's do a segment here. Who in this chat thought it was a fantastic idea after Jimbo Fisher had 3 mediocre seasons? He gets 9 wins in his COVID year. No championships, right? No championships. To pay him. Let's redo your deal. You're already getting $10 million a year. We got you for a $50 million buyout. Nah, forget that. Let's give you a $100 million, $10 million deal for a fully guaranteed buyout. I don't know who Jimmy Sexton conned over there to make them think that he was in demand. Like who was coming to pick your pocket?
Wasn't LSU flirting with him or something? Wasn't that the leverage he had? Right.
No leverage. All made up. Jimmy Sexton is the absolute puppet master, and Ross Bjork, the AD over there, is the absolute sock puppet. Cut that deal. It is insane to me. It is criminal. It is negligence that this man has $70 million and he's set for. He doesn't have to do anything. He has to go off to his ranch and just hang out, whatever he wants to do. Tell lies, who cares? You know what I mean? But I just in what world, man? In what world was Jimbo Fisher anybody coming to get him? They weren't. But back to the question.
Okay.
Do I feel any differently about Cam Coleman? Yes. Would I predict him to Auburn today? No. I am admittedly gun shy there. Do I have people that are telling me that it is a favorable situation regarding Cam and Auburn? Yes. I'm trying to read the room here, guys, and prepare you that I don't think it's a done deal to Auburn as of now, but I do think that the atmosphere around this recruitment has changed. Absolutely.
Cole?
Yeah, I feel differently. But I refuse to be burned by him twice.
There you go.
At the same time, because he is one of the more loose cannon prospects out there. You don't know what he's going to do.
Very unpredictable.
I think there's three. Now when I did the national show with Newberg a little while back, I predicted Cam Coleman to flip, but I did not say he's going to flip to Auburn.
Correct.
I just didn't think he'd end up at A&M, and it wasn't really because I thought Jimbo was going to get fired. That's the kind of recruitment this has been. He's all over the map, and I think he likes it that way. So I think three teams are involved.
Mm-hmm.
Besides A&M, which A&M's in it, but I don't think they end up with him. So Florida State,
yes,
Auburn, and Georgia.
Yes.
I think Georgia's the dark horse, honestly, and that's what scares me in this recruitment and trying to make a prediction with him. But I will say this: I feel better about. I guess I feel better about Coleman today than I do Williams, and I feel pretty good about Williams too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird. All the things that I've heard since this happened, even before, were trending toward Auburn again, and I'm like, I don't even know where to begin with this. I don't even know how to decipher it. I don't know how to break it down. I don't know how to report it to you, other than it sounds like things are really positive toward Auburn right now with Cam Coleman.
Okay. I'll have my hot boards out Monday on Auburn Live on 3. I will say this, Ryan Williams will stay at 50%. Cam Coleman will shoot up to 45. So technically, I still have Ryan Williams more likely in this class, but I might have something coming on Cam Coleman this week.
Whew.
Stay tuned. Auburn Live on 3. And then Ace wanted to know, Peyton Thorne, listen, the NIL, correct me if I'm wrong, Jhead, it's not like they can take anything away from him because he's not. Ace wanted to know, is Auburn going to continue paying him to next year? Are they going to allocate that elsewhere, those funds elsewhere? I don't think they can do that, can they?
What I would tell you is that my understanding of the situation is that Auburn makes contracts seasonally. So Peyton's deal, whatever it is, likely expires at the end of this year and or middle of January, something of that nature after the bowl game. So it would be a renegotiation. If my understanding of what our current contracts are, it would be a renegotiation by Peyton if he were going to be returning to Auburn. And would the same value be given to him? I don't know. That would be a situation that only Brett at OTV could answer, being honest with you. Now, do I think we still try to upgrade at the quarterback position? It depends on what the portal bears, right? Like if there's a guy that gets into the portal that Hugh Freeze is convinced absolutely upgrades that room, I have no hesitancy in saying I think he'll go get that guy.
Me too.
I have zero hesitancy in saying that. Now, do I know that that guy is going to come available? No, I don't. Are there rumors of guys that are going to be hitting the portal? Yes, there are. And we'll let you know when they do hit the portal, hey, this is a guy that Auburn's interested in and this is not. But I'm not going to speculate on a kid and say, this guy or this guy is going to jump into the portal before they actually do. That's not fair to the kid. And that's not fair to Auburn.
Right. Absolutely what Jhead just said. Absolutely. And I had a conversation about that today, and that's exactly what I was told. All right, Zach, keeps going. Good stuff, Ace. We appreciate you, big dog.
All right, so we got almost 20 callers.
Let's
so
hit
we're
'em.
going to limit everyone to one question. So just run off
All
the
right.
questions so we can try to get to everybody.
Make sure you ask them the furniture question.
There you go.
Yes.
2 questions.
1510. You're live. Where are you calling from? Who are we talking to?
Hey, it's Henderson from Shelbyville.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Henderson. Damn it, he can't hear me, can he?
Yeah, Zach, you're going to have to talk for us, brother.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to tell y'all. Hey, remember I called back earlier in the season. We was talking about that run defense. Look at that run defense now, fellas. That run defense is pretty good.
It is.
Very good. Ron
Do you have
Roberts.
any other questions, man?
Oh yeah. Besides Jamonte Waller, is there anybody else on Florida's team that we might be looking at? And not just them. What about Texas A&M? Anybody else that that they've recruited that we were in line for also? And War Eagle, fellas.
Good stuff, Henderson. Let's see. LJ McCray at Florida.
Yeah. Watch that one.
LJ McCray at Florida, and then Cohen Eccles, and of course Cam Coleman at A&M, and the Dominic McKenzie. I'm sorry, hit my mic. The Dominic McKinley. I don't know if y'all saw the report from On3. Sam Spiegelman said Auburn was trying to work. I'm trying to confirm that. He said that Auburn was trying to get a visit from him, and that he could possibly visit for the Iron Bowl. He's a 5-star defensive lineman, by the way, folks.
Yes, he is. He's an impact defensive lineman, and we've talked about that Auburn wants to land another impact defensive lineman in this class. He would be that and then some.
So you got Amir Jackson as well.
Amir Jackson, there you go.
From Florida.
There's two each there, Henderson. Two Amir Jackson, LJ McCray from Florida, and then Cohen Eccles, Cam Coleman, and maybe Dominic McKinley. Good stuff, Henderson. Appreciate you, big dog. Hey, Zach.
Go ahead.
Why do you think we can't talk to them?
I think the software's messed up. I'm looking right now to download a different software to run the show through, but I don't want to do it in the middle of the show.
No, that's cool.
Shut everything down. So 5960 needs no introduction, man.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll put my staff together. I got Jhead. That's my strength and condition. I got man. That was gonna be my offensive coordinator. Jhead was my defense coordinator. Yeah, I don't know Jhead last name, but I had Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we do want the buyout clause in the morning. And I had two specials. I had John fly. Y'all can fire the guy to do the yelling, and the hype man fire him. I'm bringing John fly with me. And I got my recruiting coordinator, Frederick Donnie.
Oh, I hear you.
Race Edmund. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I just know he's good at covering recruiting.
I hear you, Ever.
He's good at recruiting. Yeah, man. We can be there in the morning. I got my own. I'm on the phone with them now. Hey, Zach, I just applied for that Texas A&M job on Indeed. Can I get a paid, man?
On Indeed.
I like it, man. Hey, that buyout's nice. What, $77 million?
Oh, yeah. But I call, me, I ain't really got a lot of questions, but I do got a little quick analogy. I'm going to get off, and I want to hear y'all talk about it. We get through this New Mexico State.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Alabama, they playing good football. So is Auburn, though, man.
For one
I
game.
look at this team, and my best two players didn't play against Georgia. Jalen McLeod and probably Keontae Scott. Two of my better players. They didn't play against A&M. They didn't play against the other game that we lost.
LSU?
I forgot who it was. But anyway, I'm looking, man. This setting up to be a straight-up brawl for the Iron Bowl, man. And the good thing about it is a no-lose for me. I can't lose. Either way, I'm going to win and recruit.
Absolutely.
I got a chance better than a lot of folks think to win on the field. I'm off to 7-5. I told you, if I drop one, I thought it would beat Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
But you got this team clicking at the right time. I don't care them three bad teams. Alabama played two of those same bad teams, so if they getting credit for beating them, I'm going to give my Tigers credit for beating the same two bad teams.
Squeaked by Arkansas.
There, I like the matchup against Alabama receiving core with my secondary, and Jalen McLeod is my X factor. We get through next week. I have time if the score look like what it should look like, third quarter, get him out the game. Because I think him lined up against Caden Proctor is a mismatch, and it's going to be a problem. The energy in Jordan House Stadium is going to be off the chain, man. You can feel it already. Hey, man, it's getting close to the Iron Bowl. I flipped to a whole different mode. I never surrender and just say 7-5, we're gonna lose to. I'd be wrong. I'm gonna be 8-4. I'm gonna go with it. And even if we lose, I still win. But I'm gonna call this. It's gonna be the Alex McPherson game. I got the best kick in the country, man. I got a weapon that don't nobody even talk about. This young buck finna make a name for himself. Y'all guys have a good night.
Appreciate you, Edward. He is 18 in a row. He just broke Daniel Carlson's streak at Auburn.
Yes.
And Edward's always good, man. We're going to try to hit as many as we can. We'll keep it going. Appreciate you, big dog. Kid Country.
1138. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you call them from? And do you take the drawers out when you move the dresser?
Hello?
Bilou.
Hello?
What's up, man? You're live.
Hey, this is Ricky from Birmingham.
Oh, Ricky.
What's up, Ricky?
What's your question, Ricky?
Yeah, can I 8-4 Auburn team finish the class and recruit based on the On3 website? I'm just basing it off y'all know who we got. So y'all work On3.
Can an 8-4 Auburn team finish with a top 10 class? Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said a top 10 class.
Absolutely. Hell yes.
Yeah, 100%.
I think a 7-5 Auburn team ends up with
Me too. I'm leaning more towards that ceiling at number 7-8 than I am the floor at 12 or 13.
Given the conversations I had this weekend, I completely agree.
Yeah, me too.
Good stuff, Ricky. Appreciate you, big dog.
2457. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? And do you take the drawers out of the dresser when you move it?
Answer the question.
Absolutely, because I'm not ignorant. This is Sky calling from Leeds, Alabama. Are doing well. How about you? And I know I can't hear you, but I'm going to continue with what I have to say. When's the last time Auburn was just humiliated an SEC opponent like they did Arkansas on their own home field? We're talking about an Arkansas team that had just beat Florida, and I know they went on a little losing streak, but this is the same Arkansas team that lost by 3 in Bryant-Denny Stadium at Alabama. And then we go into Arkansas clicking on all cylinders. We finally see a complete team win, and I think what we're witnessing, man, is really key players. Y'all mentioned Jalen McLeod. Key players on the defensive side starting to get healthy. Austin Keys, Keontae Scott, Jalen McLeod. You're starting to see some of my best players get healthy, specifically on the defensive side, man. It seems like we just get stronger and stronger. But on to my question, I'll hang up and listen. I know y'all given percentages on Ryan Williams and Cam Coleman individually. What's the percentage that we get at least one of those two guys? And what's the percentage we get both? Thanks a lot, guys. War Eagle.
One or both. Hey, real quick, Sky, Auburn's 38-point margin of victory is the most over an SEC opponent since Arkansas in 2019. Auburn beat them 51-10. So that was the last time it was Arkansas. All right, percentage, Auburn gets 1. I'm going to say 50-55.
I was going to say 65%. That's where I'm at.
Okay. All right. 55. I'll go 55.
Yeah.
I'll split the difference at 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say 60 the whole time. So that's
percentage, Auburn gets both.
35%, 40%.
I'll go 45.
Okay.
45.
I'm a little lower on that. I just something makes me think not enough footballs to go around. Somebody else is going to pay up to get somebody. Not that we can't afford both. I feel like somebody else is going to be desperate. And by somebody else, I mean the team across the state or Georgia or whoever. And they're going to go get somebody, man.
Dude,
Like
the next 6 weeks are going to be so much fun.
They are.
You know,
It's
that's a key word. I'll say this quick because I know we got a bunch of callers. Desperate, Jhead. That's a key word.
Absolutely.
You see a lot of these schools that are desperate for recruits right now are the ones that are getting some of the big surprises. Florida State was in that boat, and they've turned things around on the field, so it's a little different. Miami's in that boat a little bit. some of these schools like that. I don't think Alabama thinks they're ever desperate. I truly don't believe that. So they maybe aren't having some of these huge gets yet. Now, they will towards the end. Don't get me wrong. They're going to finish strong like they always do. But I think Auburn's working from somewhat of a desperate mode because you got to have these players. And in the age of NIL, if you're working from that mode, you are going to end up with some guys, I think, especially when you have the funds that Auburn has.
Well, we say it all the time, and I'll jump off this. College football is the most emotionally driven sport. And I'm not just talking about the competitors that are on the field. I'm talking about from the power boosters, the fans. Everybody is invested in this. And when you're emotional about something, you do irrational things. And when you do irrational things, that means dollar signs go up, brother. And somebody is going to be desperate and emotional, and they're going to overpay. And for that reason alone, I think you get one. I think somebody else will toss their hat into the dance.
And by the way, real quick, can you imagine Auburn's defensive front playing the way that they did at Arkansas this past weekend with a full Jordan Hare against Bama?
Oh,
You talking about you?
Yeah, I don't favor us in that game at all. But I'm with you, man. Look, that we will play 30 minutes on emotion. That first half, they will be riding on it. It's the second half to me that's going to get interesting. Do we have enough in the tank? Because you saw what happened against Georgia. We played high on emotion for 3 quarters, and then it started to fade as you got into the fourth, and the talent started to kind of overcome the emotion. Can you sustain that for a full 60? That's the question.
Exactly.
Good stuff, Sky. Appreciate you, big dog. Keep us going there, Zach.
4295. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? And do you take the drawers out of the dresser when moving?
Zach, you were on fire, brother.
Hey, this is Ward and Eagle, and of course I do.
Yeah.
Hear the fellas, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I posted on the board that if you don't do that, then you're not doing it right, and you're just doing it because you're lazy. But anyway, all right, I know y'all trying to I'll give you one name.
He also sounds over 40, by the way, Cole.
From all of you.
Yeah.
All right. The name is who is going to start the most games for Auburn at quarterback next year.
Ooh.
And the 2 numbers are where will Auburn finish in recruiting for the 25 recruits? Where will our class finish in recruiting for next year? And how many games will Auburn win in the season next year? Those are 1 name and 2 numbers. Hell of a weekend for Auburn guys. Ward and Eagle.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Dan. All right, who's going to be the quarterback next year? Who's going to start the most games?
It takes the most snaps or starts the most games.
I'm going to say TBD.
Yeah, as of today, I lean with Jeffrey. It's TBD, but it could very well be Peyton Thorne.
Sure.
Number of games. I looked at the schedule earlier. I'm going to go with 8. I think the schedule is relatively difficult. We're still on the upcome. And you're going to be playing a lot of young parts next year. So I'm going to go with 8 as your win total in the regular season.
Let's see. Cole, you disagree? You said Peyton Thorne. Wins next year. Regular season wins.
I'll go with 8 as well. I like that number.
I'll go 9 with a bowl. So 8, yeah, me too.
He asked the 2025 class too?
Yes.
He did. That was our next one. So the second number is going to be, where does the 25 class? 5?
7th. I'll go 7th.
I'll go 6 because I'm right in that wheelhouse too. I think 5 to 8, anywhere right there. So that's good. Good stuff, Dan. Appreciate you, big dog.
3883. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? And do you take the drawers out of the dresser when moving?
Sounds like you're doing that right now.
Hey, we lost him, so he'll get called back in. But
yeah, he didn't take the drawers out.
2822. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? And do you take the drawers out of the dresser when moving?
What's up, fellas? This is Cole from Knoxville.
All right.
We're not taking the drawers out of the dresser. You got to get it moved. Got to get
whippersnapper.
Yes.
Move. I hate wasting any time with moving. I hate moving, period. But I'm getting my question because I know there's a lot of callers. Buzzwords of the year: proof of concept.
Yes.
I think right now we're having the opportunity to prove that on both sides of the ball. You saw it Saturday. trying to get the ball to trying to get the ball to Camden Brown one-on-one, trying to get the ball to receivers out in space to make plays. You see it on the other side of the ball from the linebacker position. You see it, Jalen McLeod. I think him having a big game and then someone like Jamonte Waller committing is huge. You know, you're seeing proof of concept is landing at some guys. But who might we see shock some people on the recruiting trail that either flips to Auburn or commits to Auburn that maybe would surprise people? Maybe we haven't talked about a lot. Maybe it's a name that's brought up from the past, something like that. Who might we see because of proof of concept? Or y'all have a good
Appreciate
night.
you, Cole. Awesome. Awesome caller.
I got 2.
Okay.
1, LJ McCray. I got a feeling on that one. And I do not like the trajectory of Florida's season. That one does not feel good, and I think every team and their mom is negatively recruiting them right now, which makes me think that that situation is vulnerable. And I will go with the other being one Jalewis Juice Salmon because of defensive back play. I think that helps here. I think the overall trajectory of Auburn and the proof of concept they put on the field of winning these 4 straight helps in that recruitment against the South Carolina team that is on the absolute struggle bus.
Yeah. And speaking of proof of concept, by the way, Jhead, see, we always talked about the good side of it, and you brought upon, hey, you know, good proof of concept's a good way to recruit, and it is.
Yes.
But bad proof of concept will certainly hurt you, and you're seeing a lot of that out there right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 2 sides of it. So Auburn's on the good side of that right now. The upward side of that, no doubt. I would say LJ McCray too. That's the first one that popped in my head.
Yep.
Interestingly, Jamonte Waller's commitment opens up a few things. Number one, he's a big-time edge, and a lot of defensive linemen and linebackers want to play with a guy like that. He's also from Mississippi, so don't forget about Kamarion Franklin sitting over there. The Ole Miss. Now, I don't have as much confidence in that one, but you never know. These big flips like this, I mean, this is a top 100 player you're talking about, a guy that was helping a 3rd ranked in the country Florida class, which is now dropped because they lost another one today. Wardell Mack flipped to Texas from Florida, so they've lost 2. But, I mean, he was a big piece. He was in their top 10 most, highest rated commits. And then, look, that just attracts more big fish. That's how it works. So I still feel like Auburn's going to pull a big D lineman of the 3 of Cam Franklin, LJ McCray, and Jeremiah Beeman. So it's one of those.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm getting feedback. Am I?
No, you're good now.
Okay. That's exactly mine were in there as well. Cam Franklin, LJ McCray, Beeman. I think Cole mentioned him. So good stuff, Cole. Appreciate you, big dog. Zach looks confused.
You're muted, Zach. Maybe he knows that. He might know that.
I think he might be getting the echo.
Okay.
He might be the reason I was getting an echo.
Okay. Do we need to mute so he can answer the phone?
Hey.
Hear me now?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I don't hear you guys.
Uh-oh.
You got a big old booger in your nose, Zach.
Okay, I hear y'all now.
Okay, cool. You didn't hear that.
Wait for the playback on that one, Zach.
Yeah, mark that time, Zach. 38:50.
Yeah.
0285. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you call them from? And do you keep the drawers in the dresser when moving?
All right. I do. I do not keep the dresser. I do not.
He does not keep
I
the
do not
drawers.
keep the drawers.
He doesn't take the drawers out, I think is what he's trying to say.
Jackson from Auburn. I do not.
Jackson? Is that what he said?
Yeah, Jackson from Auburn.
All right, Jackson.
What's your question, man?
And I got a couple questions.
Go ahead.
What do you think about Jaden Prelati? And do you think we go for a he be in the transfer portal, or do we say we're Peyton Thorne?
Okay.
Appreciate your
Good
questions, man.
My
Very good
favorite
question.
caller tonight already. If he's as young as I think he is, which he can't be a shade over 12, and he's got
9.5.
questions. Yeah. Somebody's found Jay Lee's recruiting notebook around again somewhere.
Dude, you know what I was expecting? I saw the video of that 8.5-year-old kid who goes on the Pat McAfee show.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought we were in for. I was about to tell Zach.
Look, Jackson's a man after my own heart. I started following recruiting at a young age myself.
I
So
hear you.
he wants to know about Jhead Perlotti, which is a very fair question. We were hearing
That's
a
a
lot
great
about
question.
him 3 weeks ago. He came, snuck into the Ole Miss game, kind of sat in the student section, exited without I'm 12, Big Dog said. My bad,
I
Jackson.
like it. See, I told you. I said not a shade over 12.
You're right. You're right. All right. My bad, Big
Very
Dog.
cool.
You know,
Very cool.
he's at least old enough to call when he doesn't use the half. He's not
And
going, I'm 12 and a half.
He's
"There you
12,
go, Big Dog."
and he doesn't take the drawers out. That's a man right there, son.
I'm telling you, son. He said, I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, he don't take them out because he makes his dad do it.
There you go.
I don't take them out. My dad does, though. All right, Jhead Perlotti. Cole, you've been on this guy as much as anybody. Where are you?
I still put him on my who could be next to commit list because I still hear good things. Now he goes to Georgia. You know, he takes 3 consecutive visits to Auburn home games.
Yep.
Georgia,
Sanford
was it?
and Ole Miss.
Yeah, Sanford, Georgia, Ole Miss in that order, I think it was. Then he goes back to Georgia, you know, posts a lot about it, puts some pictures up. I'm home, that kind of stuff. And that doesn't make anybody feel great on the Auburn side as far as fans go. But I'm going to tell you, you just can't pay too much attention to the social media stuff these days. Okay? Trust me on this, Jackson, if you're still listening. Watch what they say, but it's the intel that matters. And from what we understand, Auburn's in the game here, man.
Yeah. A lot of time to go on
in
him.
the game.
As far as quarterback Jackson, do y'all think Hugh Freeze goes to the transfer portal? I think Jhead hit it earlier. If there's a guy in there that Hugh Freeze thinks will raise the floor of that quarterback room, listen, and I would lean – I'm leaning Jackson. I'm leaning more towards yes right now.
I think the quarterback – and I chose Peyton Thorne when the other question was who's going to be the quarterback that starts most games. I still think Peyton Thorne might be the starter, but that doesn't mean they're not going to get a quarterback out of the portal because I do expect some attrition at that position.
Agreed. I think they're getting a quarterback one way or another from the portal, whether you're bringing in a guy to push Peyton Thorne or whether you're bringing in a guy that's a veteran that's expecting to start over Peyton Thorne. There are 2 different kind of guys that are going to be in the portal right now. You're going to have guys that are backups at other Power 5 programs right now that are itching to get on the field and to prove themselves. And then you're going to have bona fide starters that are going to make their way in, whether that be at the G5 level or the P5 level. And depending on what one of those guys jumps in, you know, that could kind of change how the quarterback room gets shaped at Auburn.
My apologies to Jackson's mom. I think I used the S word earlier in the show. My bad, Big Dog.
There you go.
All right, Zach, keeps going. Appreciate you, Jackson, man. I hope you call back, Big Dog. Don't be a stranger.
Not at all. Please keep calling.
1404. You're live, man. Do you take the drawers out of the dresser when moving?
Absolutely. This is Andy from Wetumpka.
Okay, Andy.
Man?
I have something for y'all to think about, and I want to get y'all's opinion. With wide receivers greatly underperforming this year, if I'm Hugh Freeze, I just have to let go Marcus Davis and go after Damian Craig.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Not me.
Yeah, everyone said no on that one.
No.
Yeah,
it
not
would help
happening.
with. I think it would help with recruiting. Cam Coleman.
Yeah, if Auburn hired Damian Craig as wide receivers coach, yeah, I think it would be a slam dunk. However, listen, I don't put the blame on Marcus Davis. Like, there's only if you go to this is going to sound bad. If you go to, if you go to the good
I
toy
don't put all
store.
the blame on them. No.
Oh, can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear Jay Lee talking?
Yeah, I can.
For real?
Hey, we're back.
I can.
Yeah! Yes! Yes! Well timed, big dog. Listen, I'm talking about you go to a real
thank
toy
y'all.
store. Appreciate you, big dog, Andy. You go to a good toy store. You buy the real deal Play-Doh, right? You got the real good Play-Doh. You go to Dollar General or something like that, and you get your great value. There's only so much you can do with that, right? And Play-Doh is talent, the talent of the wide receiver room. I just don't. I'm not ready to blame Marcus Davis for the troubles that we've seen at wide receiver this year.
I'm not either. I think it's year one. I think you've got a lot of different moving pieces there, a different scheme, guys that are learning to play up to the standard that Hugh Freeze needs in that offense from the wide receiver position specifically. And I think you have to have the opportunity to get your guys in there somewhat, the guys that fit your needs and the guys and guys that have the skill set that you want in that room. And I think Marcus should have the opportunity to do that. Damien's a good football coach. I'm not trying to in any way disparage him, but I think Marcus is on the rise in his coaching career, and I think Damien is towards the end. And it would be counterproductive to this staff because you got to remember, when you're putting a staff together, it's a group of personalities, and those personalities have to mesh to get one cohesive product. Everybody has to have the same idea about what's going on. I think Marcus meshes very well with his staff, and I think it would be a mistake to move on from him at this point.
Go ahead. Go.
Yeah, just a couple things real quick. Are we sure that Damien would take the wide receiver's job? Would he want more? I mean, at this point,
I'm not sure about anything that guy would do.
Okay, well, that's number one.
I think want more would be one thing. I think what he can get is two totally different things.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like he would, knowing his personality, he might want more than just the receiver's job at Auburn. He's had that before. Trying to move up here, right? And there's nothing wrong with that.
I just don't know how
Number
he would
two,
mesh with the other coaches.
I've been the one, and I've seen this question several times on our board, and it's a good question. It's fair. And I've been the one that's done the breakdowns and said, look, the receivers' depth is not good here. They're drifting away from where they're supposed to. It doesn't look like they have a great understanding at times. But listen, seen a major improvement out of that group. Major. Okay. Even Camden Brown, who had his probably, roughest game as an Auburn player a week ago, he was the only one that was coming back to the ball and making plays on it.
Yeah. Don't give up on him, big dog.
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody has a bad game. Everybody's an off game. He was covered pretty well, by the way. They just gave him some shots. Because he's a big guy, and you want him to eventually learn how to overpower a corner and make that catch. But my point is, I've seen some improvement here, and you got to remember, Marcus Davis was a player personnel guy about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
3 years to be. So he's been an assistant coach for 2 years, one at Hawaii, one at Georgia Southern.
So that means he's been on the recruiting side before he got to the field side. And look, there's a learning curve. And he's getting better as it goes on as a coach on the field. But the guy knows what he's doing as recruiting. There's 3 receivers committed that are really, really good to evidence that. And he's got a shot with Cam Coleman and Ryan Williams. So let's see what he can do here. And Jhead, that's a great point. He's on the way up.
Yes. All blue chip prospects. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
My point with Marcus Davis and Cam Coleman is he might have the best relationship with anybody when it comes to Cam Coleman. He might have the best relationship. I'm telling you, man, Marcus Davis and Cam Coleman are very close. I know they spoke early this morning, right after Texas A&M fired Jimbo. Cam Coleman called Marcus Davis, wanted to let him know. I'm listening.
Right.
I'm listening. So don't give up on Marcus Davis just because of recruiting, because this guy's already got Perry Thompson, Bryce King, Malcolm Simmons, and absolutely has Auburn in position to flip Ryan Williams and to flip Cam Coleman.
Definitely.
So, good stuff, Andy. I appreciate the call, though, man.
4003. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? And do you keep the drawers in the dresser when moving?
Gentlemen, War Eagle, it's Carter Malden from Brookhaven.
Hey.
Too much, been busy. and just wanted to call in. And when I was a young whippersnapper at Auburn, I would leave the drawers in, and I learned my lesson real quick. My dumb ass almost blew out all the drawers in my old dresser at Auburn, and so now, yes, I do take them out. But I wanted to call y'all and ask, what do y'all think are our chances now with Cole and Eccles? I know all the attention is on Cam Coleman, but man, I'm with Cole. I love Cole and Eccles. I think this guy's got the skill set, and I really think that he could be a big time addition to our class. And last question I wanted to ask is, do y'all think that we have a better chance now with Beeman or McCray? And I'll hang up. And War Damn Eagle, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate you, Carter. Tell that Bammer wife we said hello.
Man, Carter needs to go into radio or broadcast or something. He's got a good delivery.
Voice, yeah.
He does. He does.
All right, Cole, give us some intel on Cole and Eccles.
Cole and Eccles, I don't think this affects him one way or the other.
Agreed.
I don't think this matters at all. I think whatever was going to happen with Cole and Eccles had nothing to do with whether Jimbo Fisher is there or not, because he is a guy that is committed to A&M. He's an interesting one because a lot of times these guys are committing to coaches, and you'll see fans go, why do you do that? Coaches move around more than players do in the transfer portal. Commit to the school. Commit to the school. It's hard to get somebody to do that.
Mm-hmm. Easier said than done.
They're talking to the coaches. Coaches are the ones, wheeling and dealing. They're the ones talking. They're the ones that you grow relationships with. It's just part of the game, okay? Well, with Cole and Eccles, he's closer to home by going to A&M, and that's important to he and his family. That's what I've learned through this. Now, on the other hand, he really, really likes Auburn. I know that for a fact. Can say that with lots of confidence. And Auburn has never given up on him. And let me tell you, this is a guy who can play every position on the offensive line, all of them. Center, right guard, right tackle, left tackle. And I'm going to tell you, he's a guy that could come in and play like Connor Lew's playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's how good I think he is.
Agreed.
Auburn is all in on this guy. And we haven't talked about him enough, and that's probably my fault because I did know about this and I haven't told y'all. But Auburn's in the game, and yeah, sure, it probably helps a little bit that there's turmoil now at A&M. But getting him to leave home is going to be the main thing here.
And he's a legacy at A&M too, I believe,
Yeah,
which also plays a big factor. Now, as far as the transition is concerned, I don't think Jimbo being fired affects him. I do think whoever the next offensive line coach is affects him and that relationship. That is the one dynamic to me that is interesting. Who do they hire, and does that person mesh with Cole and Eccles very quickly? Because that could open the door somewhat, that primary relationship with whoever it is that's going to be coaching him for the next 4 years. But I'm with you, Cole. This is going to be a hard one. Getting him away from home, he's a legacy. A lot of things against you in this recruitment, but I'm with you. The door is 100% open, and we'll just see where it goes.
I will. Oh shit, my battery's dead. I don't know what I've been doing. Anyways, hey, Cole and Eccles, number one target on the board that's not committed to Auburn. Offensive lineman, high school offensive lineman. He is the top prize. All right, keep us going there, Zach.
5547. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you call them from? And do you leave the drawers in the dresser when moving?
This is John from Florida. Leave the drawers in.
Oh,
yes. I don't know if we're keeping score, but
What's our running back room going to look like next year? Is with Jarquez coming on, will he stay or will he go?
good question, man. Hey, John.
Oh, he just hung
Okay.
up.
I want somebody to respond to one of us. I want to hear.
yeah, I know. I need clarification.
I don't think they could hear you. I think he was listening to his TV in the background.
Oh,
He was a little late.
Yeah.
okay. John wants to know, Jarquez Hunter going pro. What's the running back room look like next year? Pretty similar.
Yeah, I don't know what Jarquez is. I think it's all going to depend on his draft grade, right? Like he's going to do like everybody else. He's going to put in for a draft grade. If it comes back 4th round or worse, I think the chances are pretty good that he comes back. I think if he's talking 2nd, 3rd round, if that's the grade he gets back with the lifespan of running backs in the NFL, I think there's a good chance that he goes pro because those are guys that don't stick around very long. You better make your money while you can. And the more hits you have on you, the less value you have. So it'll all depend to me on what the draft advisory comes back with, what grade he gets, and what round he's positioned himself in. I'd lean towards him coming back at this moment. But if he has a very special Iron Bowl or that grade comes back in that second and third round category, I think he's out.
Yeah, honestly, you're wanting it to be a lower draft year for Auburn, meaning not as many guys drafted, because there are some that could leave. Hunter's one of them. Dylan Wade, Rivaldo Fairweather, guys that could come back that could go pro right now. So you're hoping that doesn't happen, honestly, because having those guys are monster pieces for next year's team. I think I'm leaning pretty heavily that he comes back. I think he comes back.
That would be my guess right now. Hey, before we move on, Carter, second question was Beeman or LJ McCray? Who you got? Better chance with Auburn.
I like LJ's chances better.
You like what?
I like the chances better with LJ.
It's close. I
need to
based on what I've heard lately, I'll go LJ.
I haven't gotten to that. I haven't gotten to that point, so I'll defer to you guys on that. I'll have to do some more digging on that. Hey, baby. Hey, much obliged to you. All right, then.
You brought your charger.
Yeah.
5411. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? And do you take the drawers out of the dresser when moving?
Hey, what's going on? This is Big Pat.
Big Pat.
Hey, what's up, Big Pat? Can't
Big
hear.
Pat.
When I'm moving, I take them out. I take them out. So I have a quick question for I guess for Cole. How do you see this offensive line recruiting shaping up towards the end?
Appreciate your question, man.
All right,
Big Pat. That's our guy, Jeffrey. That's our guy that's got the tailgate there.
Yeah.
On our walkway. Got a great tailgate, man. Big Pat's also a Benjamin Russell guy. So Malcolm Simmons. He hits me up about Malcolm.
Michael Goggins.
That's right. So his question was about offensive line recruiting. I actually think that things are trending in a very good direction right now. And go back and look at my who could be next to commit. I have two new names in there, both offensive linemen. Seth Wilfred is a JUCO guy.
Yes.
Let me tell you about Seth Wilfred. This guy's interesting. He's got 3 years to play, 4 years to play 3 is how which is always confusing to me, but basically just think he's got 3 years of eligibility to play.
Yeah, he's got a red shirt if you need it.
He's like a sophomore coming in, basically. Okay. He played at Bishop Gorman, and for those of you who follow recruiting, that's a school that you've probably heard of because they put out dudes all the time.
That's
Bishop
not BSI.
Gorman.
No, that's in Las Vegas.
It's the Las Vegas school that's got all these studs every year, right?
Sycamore is the BSI.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Bishop Sycamore.
There you go.
The fake team.
The
Yeah.
fake school.
Anyway, Seth Wilfred was there. He was a late arrival there, from my understanding. He didn't play until later in the season, and of course, they had all guys that were going D1 on the offensive line, so nobody knows about him. I mean, nobody knows about him. He goes to JUCO, and it's like he got Old Dominion offered. Auburn has come across him. Great job evaluating, because I watched this film, and I'm going to tell you, this guy's good. This guy's pretty good. And I made the statement, Auburn's not going to reach, and they're not. If they are going after somebody, they think very highly of them. That's the bottom line. The other JUCO guy is Javen Richardson from Hutchinson CC, which Auburn has gotten a couple guys. Marquise Gilbert was the latest, I believe, from that school. So I think Auburn could land both of those guys.
Yeah, and I made that post on the board. I think the 4 to play 3 opens the door to take 2 JUCO guys. I don't think they necessarily anticipated at the start of this year taking 2 junior college prospects. But the fact that you get one with 3 years to play, kind of, you know what I mean? You can slot him in that same group with Eston Harris as a young piece to develop in that sophomore class together. And I think that's important to them to find that layer of depth. But I'm with you. The kid from you say his name again, Cole, but he played at
Richardson.
No,
No.
not Richardson.
Seth Wilford.
Seth Wilford. He's originally from Nebraska, transferred there to Las Vegas. Like you said, did not play at all. But when you look at his tape, really good feet, more athletic than I would have anticipated. Very good length. I mean, he is a prototypical left tackle at 6'6", 295. So got all the tools and all the intangibles. Would be a really nice bridge piece for us if you can pick that one up. So I think I'm with you. That's one that I think he's going to get more offers. I think as people come across this film, I think we're going to see some more Power 5 schools jump in there.
That's again where Auburn gets to go. If that happens, Auburn gets to go, hey, this is what they did with Cohen Eccles, by the way. Hey, we found you before you blew up. It's a huge recruiting pitch. It really is.
It means a lot to a lot of these kids.
It does. Who was first? Because it's Auburn and Houston are the only two P5 schools that have jumped in at this point.
Yep.
No, that goes back to Cam Coleman. Auburn was on his ass.
Auburn was on him. Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
All right, Zach, keep us going, big dog. Good stuff, Big Pat. We appreciate you, big dog.
Kevin from Wilmer, you were live, man.
Yes.
Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama.
Yay! There he is.
He can't hear us. We don't even have to ask this question.
About Walker White and Bryce Kane and Perry Thompson.
All right.
Appreciate you, Kevin, man.
All right, Kevin. You talking about the future of Auburn's passing game? Is that what you're talking about? Walker White. Walker White's number 2 on my class ranking. I don't know if y'all been catching that. I throw that out after commitments now, and I update it with whoever just committed. I got Walker White at number 2, right behind Perry. I really think that those two could be a unbelievable connection at Auburn one day, maybe very soon.
Yeah,
coming to a field near you.
And Bryce too. Don't want to forget about Bryce.
Absolutely. They got some connections, man. Those guys get together. When Walker comes down, they're somewhere throwing footballs.
Yeah,
every time. Loved those. And Walker was at Arkansas this past weekend.
Yes, he was. Yeah, when y'all watch him, do you not see a little bit of Jackson Dart when you see him? When you see his high school cutouts and the way that he's more athletic than you would think. I see a lot of Jackson Dart with him with a little bit stronger arm.
That's not a bad comparison at all. Actually, I hadn't thought about it, but that's a good one.
No, I see a lot there in that comp. But go ahead.
I think Walker White's going to be fantastic. I think only thing he's working on right now is not turning the ball over. I think that's his one weakness right now that he needs to create. When you've got Kent Austin and Hugh Freeze and Philip Montgomery and Jesse Stone working with QBs, I'm excited to see what Walker White can do under those guys and in this offense and with these wide receivers that he's going to have.
Agreed.
Really excited. I'm really excited about Walker White.
For sure.
All right, Big Zach.
6609. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? And do you take the drawers out of the dresser when moving?
Yeah, this is A96 from Nashville. In terms of taking the drawers out of the dresser, I take them out because, like the previous caller, I had a experience at Auburn where I put dishes in the dresser and all the drawers fell out. And I was trying to move it.
That's a cool Pinkston rookie move.
Drawers out. my question is, do you guys think that Robbie Ashford has thrown his last pass and maybe moving to wide receiver? And then my second point is, all you guys out there that are saying we're going to go 7-5, just remind you that Saban is 3-7 in Jordan Hare. Thank you.
Is he really?
War Eagle.
Appreciate it.
Get on their ass. He's talking to you two. You 7-5 little lollipops.
I'll say this, and
because you went from 6-6 to 8-4.
Yeah,
he talking to me.
I'll say this. The way Bama's playing right now and the way Milroe's playing, Auburn does not want to see them right now.
I know.
No,
I watched them the other night and I said, shit, I'll give anybody 10 points right now.
Yeah.
Auburn plus 10.
I'll take Bama 14 right now.
Mhm.
No, their defensive front is better than anything we've seen since Georgia. I mean, they straight up are emasculating people at the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a really rough game for us. I do think emotion's going to keep it close in the first half.
I agree.
My question is what happens in the second. That's really where it could get away from us.
Georgia and Ole Miss, right?
But you know, Jhead, they're not as dominant on defense as a Georgia, in my opinion. I mean, they can't completely shut people out from scoring like Georgia's been able to. They somehow let people score a little bit this year. Now, they're not allowing a lot. Don't get me wrong there. But it just seems like there's something to be had against their defense a little bit more than usual.
On the road, I agree with you. In Tuscaloosa, I mean, I watched them kind of boa constrictor Ole Miss and hold them to 7 points.
That's true.
So it all depends on where they are. But, yes, on the road, you saw it this past weekend against Kentucky. Now, I think the muff punt got them. You know, that kind of started some momentum for Kentucky. So Auburn's going to have to get some breaks. You're going to get some turnovers. You're going to have some special teams highlights there for us to stay competitive in that game. I mean, it's going to damn near need to be punt, Bama, punt, if I'm being completely honest.
I agree. Good stuff. I forgot his name. It was 896 or something.
Yeah, I think he gave some numbers.
I think it was a social security number. We'll have to play that back.
That was the routing number, I think.
Last caller of the night, 6304. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? And do you take the drawers out of the dresser when moving?
Hey guys, this is Dustin from Dothan. Hell yeah, I'm taking them drawers out. You don't know nobody. I ain't trying to carry that heavy dresser. My question to you guys is, so Hugh was talking about earlier in the season, he wasn't running tempo, trying to save the defense. It seems like they've gone away from that. Do you think if he had gone away from that sooner, maybe we got a few more wins?
Ooh, that is a fantastic question for Cole.
I've been waiting for this one.
Yes. Thanks, Dustin. Great question to end on tonight. Cole.
I wish we could talk to him because I have a counter question I want his answer, but my counter question is, does a thin defense play this energized if you're running tempo all year and having them on the field?
I don't think so.
I think that you got a lot of energy on defense right now, and you're getting the very, very best out of them because Hugh Freeze is a defensive-minded head coach. You didn't hear me wrong. He's a defensive-minded head coach. He calls offensive plays, but he's always thinking of ways to keep his defense in good shape. And I'm talking about in good shape down the stretch, not just in games, down the stretch. We're not talking about practice.
Get him, Iverson.
I don't want to get on a rant here, but does that make sense what I'm saying?
He does.
I think he has kept them fresh. I think that the strategy has kept them fresh. And look, for those of you who can't see the big picture, and it's really hard to do because I was the same way. I got on the show one night and I said something about the way he was handling things. You got to see the big picture. You got to look past what is the goal? What's the objective? All right. Try to figure that out when you're, cussing at somebody and trying to figure out and trying to criticize them. Make sure you understand the objective. And I think the objective was, I got some good players on my defense. I'm going to make sure I got them at the end of the season when we can win these games.
I agree. And the only game I think would be different. Look, I think Georgia, LSU, and A&M were always going to go the way that they did. The only game to me that would have been any different would have been potentially the Ole Miss game. That is the one that I have circled where I look back and say, if we hadn't been switching the quarterbacks in and out, if we had some more cohesiveness on offense when we took advantage, or could we have taken advantage a little bit more on some of the turnovers in the field position that we had? That's the one I think you could have gotten, but I'm with you, Cole. I think where the team is now in its full health and totality, I don't know that you get there if you don't play some complementary football at the beginning of the year and play a slow-down brand of ball. I'm unsure, but I do think we could be one win better. Just one, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, hey, do we want to hit some chat quests?
Yeah, let's get them.
But hey, what did you think about the moving the furniture piece, Cole? Was that about what you was expecting?
Yeah, you're right. It's the young bucks that are going to answer the way that I would want. But again, it's subjective for me because I had the business and I had to do it that way, man. I couldn't waste all that time taking, drawers out of the furniture.
You know what? You ought to ask yourself, Cole, do you want it done right or do you want it done right now?
Easy option, though I hear
You know what?
He's going to be employed at Boise here soon.
I've heard that. I've heard that today, actually.
They fired their coach, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's. I would say some preliminary conversations were had before Andy Avalos was gone on that.
Do you think they're going to hire him back?
Yes.
Hey, good for him, man. Yeah. Good for him.
I'd like to see his son up there, man.
That was a great quote, Jeffrey. I'm not even kidding. That quote is really good. I mean, I love it. I love the writer right now quote.
I think Hugh Freeze has stopped short of saying that himself at some point. He just doesn't want to say that those exact words. But I mean, I think a lot of coaches think that, right?
Sure.
So,
he didn't make that up.
No, hell no.
Ward credit for it.
Ward Dan Eagle, who called in earlier.
Yeah.
He commented on the corner about what he said. He actually looked at it a different way, and he's not wrong. He said that people who leave the drawers in are the lazy ones, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of true because I have that tendency, and I'm like, man, I don't have time to move all them drawers around. Let me just lift it. It'll be over soon.
Taking the easy way out.
Here's the other question: if you're having to go up or downstairs with furniture, are you like to be the guy backing up, or you like to be the one holding it going forward?
Depends on who I'm moving it with, man. Listen, that is the pivotal piece to moving furniture. Who's on the other end of the piece?
That is true. And for me, having somebody really tall is a problem because all that weight's on me.
Yeah.
You're getting the downhill weight. All right, let's see what Freeze era bar stool. Does Auburn have a higher chance at Cam Coleman now that Jumbo is gone? And if he flipped, what is your prediction on where he ends up? Does he have a higher? Absolutely, I think they have a higher chance now that Jumbo's gone.
Yes.
If Coleman flips, what is your prediction on where he ends up? Right now, I've got it at 45, so not Auburn right now, but damn, it's close.
I think it's either Auburn or Florida State.
Me too.
I think it's back to where it was before A&M became clearly in the picture.
And for that reason, I say Georgia.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't. Jordan Stallions, is that the guy who got fired from Michigan?
Yeah. No, Connor Stallions.
Stallions.
That's his brother. Yeah, brother Jordan calls in. Does the 24 class end up in the top 10? Mentioned it earlier. 8-ish?
Yeah, I think 8 to 10 is very realistic right now for this class. And I was leaning 12 probably as of 2 weeks ago, but things have changed significantly.
Sure. Here's my holdup, though. If they do get those two JUCO offensive linemen that we mentioned, they're not going to be real highly rated. How much does that hurt your class ranking? You know, I mean, obviously nobody would complain about getting two offensive linemen.
No.
You know what I mean?
They'll get ranked.
I don't think the OL is what's going to drag this class, Cole. To me, it's all right. Do you get one of those big defensive tackles? So can you get an LJ McCray? Or someone of that ilk. What happens at tight end? You're looking at several 4-star prospects there. Do you get Cam Coleman? That alone, to me, probably puts you right at the top 10. Just those three positions.
I'll tell you what, I'll say 10. I think Auburn finishes at number 10.
And then what happens with Riley that's committed to Miami? You know what I mean? What does he do? Because that's another guy that can jump your stock big time. And I got to think I don't know where he's at right now, but Miami's starting a freshman at running back. If it were me and I'm looking at that, or I'm Carnell Williams and I'm trying to sell him and I'm saying, look, I got Jarquez Hunter, who's probably turning pro after this year. You can come in and step in and be a starter in your sophomore year. It's a little harder sell when you're Miami and you're starting a true freshman.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's see what Eric Moss. E. Moss, like that cabbage. Zach. Isn't this coach at New Mexico State known for giving Freeze problems?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jerry Kill.
Jerry Kill
is a hell of a coach. Yeah.
Now, New Mexico's got one of the better offenses in the country, don't they?
Yeah.
New Mexico State does.
Yeah, New Mexico State.
You know what's wild?
Excuse me.
They played.
Hey.
You know that New Mexico.
There's a distinction. There's a distinction.
New Mexico State played in week 0 against UMass and lost to UMass.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and since then they're like what 8-3 and clinched the division.
They are much better than you want them to be at this point in your schedule. You don't want them to be that good, and I think Auburn's better and clearly can win that game, but they are better than you want them to be. They make you a little uncomfortable. There's no doubt.
Go ahead, Cole. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would comp them to the Western Kentucky team you played this time last year.
Yeah,
that's to me, it's a very similar game. Can it be dangerous if Auburn doesn't prepare? Absolutely. Look, we've seen Georgia State come into Auburn and not be intimidated. We've seen Jacksonville State come in and not be intimidated. Do I think that's going to happen this time? No, I don't. I think we've kind of worked out some of the grooves and the kinks, and Hugh will have them focused. But you got to make sure you're dialed in, that's for sure, because then this game can get close and it can get weird down the stretch.
Didn't Freeze have at Liberty last year? They had Arkansas, who they beat the brakes off of, and then New Mexico State, who they lost to.
Yes,
that's weird. That's weird.
Not in that sequence. So they beat Arkansas, and then they go on a 3-game losing streak where they lose to UConn, then Virginia Tech, and then New Mexico State at the very end.
Yeah.
Who knows that?
Because he already took the Auburn job, so everybody was watching him.
When you're looking at who you're evaluating during a coaching search, you damn well know exactly.
Great day in the morning. That's fine.
They lost.
We don't know what to do without you.
They were on like their 3rd or 4th string quarterback though, because they like every time their quarterback got healthy, the next one would get hurt the next week.
They
lost. Yeah, they lost by like 30 points to New Mexico State too. Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was bad.
But I will say this: they announced Hugh Freeze being hired at Auburn. Literally 15 minutes before kickoff, and the whole team had the WTF face. You know what I mean? Like right when they took the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jason Bird wants to know. Hey, Jason, how are we looking with KJ Lacey? Yeah, that's a question we haven't addressed in a few weeks. Seems a little quiet on him in the past few weeks. Yeah, that's because he's a 2025 guy. Not a lot of news coming out, but I would imagine the more Ryan Williams news comes out, the more KJ Lacey will come out.
Yes.
Yeah. KJ Lacey, I think things are looking pretty good, actually. Obviously, he leads to big things, along with, with Ryan Williams. You probably get him if you get Lacey. So he's going to be one we need to track for sure.
Tim wants to know about the Auburn tight end room. How's it going to look next year? It's a great question. It's you've got the 3 seniors, Brendan Frazier, Luke Dill, Tyler Fromm, all can come back for their free year, their COVID year. And I think Auburn really hopes they do, because that's a really good room.
Yeah, it might look exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, with the addition of a Colin Fox or a Michael Smith or a Amir Jackson, a young guy.
Yeah.
And maybe a transfer guy, depending on what these 3 guys do. I think it all depends on what those 3 seniors do.
I'm with you, Jeffrey, though. We've gotten a lot out of that tight end room this year.
Yes.
I've been impressed with them and the way they've used them. You hope Michael Riley Ducker doesn't get anxious and decide to hit the portal or something of that nature, because I think he's got a very bright future as well. But, yeah, it can look the exact same with the addition of one guy in this class. And I hope that it does, because they've taken big strides this year. They really have.
Cole, what's up with Dylan Senda? You heard anything about him? Hugh Rayleigh wants to know.
Oh, Hogbone. Yeah, I don't know.
Hogbone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's Hugh.
That's him. I haven't heard much about him. I guess he might get a red shirt this year. Is how that's going to work.
Probably scout team in it right now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but I think it was Jhead. You were talking about E.J. Harris, Eston Harris being that one guy in that class or whatever.
Yeah.
Adding a guy like Seth Wilfred. Well, Senda's in that class too now, right?
Well, not if he red shirts. If he red shirts, he'll be right there with everybody else, with the rest of this group. So
Right.
Well, interestingly, Connor Liu's not in that. He's going to be in that group now because he's gone through his red shirt. I don't anticipate him going back to the bench at this point.
Interesting.
So now you've got 3 sophomores. But I had heard in fall camp, he had a really good fall camp, that they thought the future was very bright for him. But I'm with you, Cole. I haven't heard anything in a while, and you probably won't until bowl practice.
Yeah.
Bowl practice typically is the time of the year you start to hear about young guys.
Yep.
Oh, Noah Kelly wants to know, Brian Taylor, man, I just wrote this down. I was actually going to what do you think about the UGA prediction? I'm not surprised. I don't argue with it. And, man, I know this was awful timing, but I hate saying this. But, listen, I learned this before the UGA prediction. Auburn's not pushing hard for this kid right now.
I can back you up on that, Jeffrey. It sounds like now that prediction's come out, it sounds like we would say that. But
right,
shoot, we'll tell you when they miss on somebody, by God, and
right,
they have.
Yeah, they've missed on something. But I'm telling you, I got this intel before. I think Will Frong from 24/7 put in a Brian Taylor to UGA. That sounds great to me because I don't think right now it's Auburn.
Here's how I can back you up on it because he visited. He visited for the Ole Miss game. I think it was his OV.
Right.
And, I was chomping at the bit to learn about him because I wanted to see if I need to put a prediction in or, because he's friends with Dylan Wade. And I think that's how communication sort of got started with him because of Dylan Wade. And they watched his film and thought it was pretty good. There's this thing that's happened with the staff when they see somebody in person, when they get around them, whether it's a personality thing, whether it's a size and frame thing. I don't know what it is. I can't speculate. They'll just decide, all right, that's not really what we're looking for.
Right.
I got that feel with Brian Taylor that I never heard another word about him after he visited.
Does the emergence of Keldrick Falk and the improved play of Zeke Walker potentially change their need for a junior college defensive lineman at that position specifically?
As a matter of fact, again, I'm going to have a note tomorrow on this, but
don't ruin it. Tease it for
all
the
right.
video.
Yeah, man. Y'all check it out. I'm going to write on this about the JUCO defensive line and whether or not Auburn's going to pursue, as well as a couple of more notes. I'm going to have a little War Room Plus tomorrow to go with the hot board update. Bubba and the old man, Auburn Sports Talk. Appreciate you, big dog. Big dog. Okay, this is when I'm supposed to say, hey, appreciate your tip.
Yes.
We don't ask for it. We don't encourage it. We would like you to
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe to that YouTube page, man. It's free, and it helps us, if not as much, if not more. We appreciate that. So, all right, but he wants to know around when can we expect the next commitment? I would love to know this. I love knowing this ahead of time. Does anybody have anything coming up? I mean,
I think it's gonna be about a week. I think. Look for next weekend, maybe early.
Who are your top three, Cole, on who's the next commit?
I have Favor Edwin.
Yep.
Okay, 2 weeks.
I have hang on, let me pull it back up.
You had number 2. Who was it?
No, I have Jhead Perlotti in the top 3.
There you go.
And number 1 was Ryan G, who committed today.
Okay.
Correct.
Who we haven't talked about Ryan G yet. But the next one was Seth Wilford. So that's one that I'm looking at further off. But, hey, he's somebody we hear good things about. So I say Favor Edwin's a guy to watch in the coming week or so.
I hear you. Clemson is he's taking the visit to Clemson next weekend, going to decide after that.
Yep.
So at least, Bubba, not for another week unless somebody like Jhead Perlotti just springs it on us.
Right.
All right. Ward Eggle. I like it. Question: who was the best high school football player between the 4 of you? Let the chat vote.
Oh, hey,
oh man,
it's got to be Cole because he played in college, right?
Yeah, right.
That doesn't mean anything.
Jeffrey played junior college.
I'm trying to be optimistic here. I mean, not optimistic, objective, and optimistic. Hell yeah. I was a very average football player. We played at 6A. We played with some big boys, and they made me look very average. I was. This is who I was as a high school football player. I was an average player who every once in a while would make a great play. Like I'd have an interception or something like. Every once in a while, I'll even punted some. And my best play of high school football, they snapped it over my head. I ran back, grabbed it, turned around. Here comes the whole defensive line. I faked a guy out and then kicked it 40 yards down the field. That was like my highlight. Okay,
there you go.
So it wasn't me. That's what I'm saying.
Y'all take a look at the comments real quick.
Cole's dominating the vote.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
It's Cole like 100. One person said me, and then someone said Jaylee's too old, but they don't have the film.
I think it's Zach. Zach was O-line, baby. O-line pride.
Zach started at Baker on the O-line there.
That's saying something.
I think I've got that on VHS. I know that sounds. It was VHS, big dog.
I got mine on VHS. We didn't have huddle when I played.
No, I legit tape on VHS. My dad still has it breaking out from time to time.
Now, Pee Wee football, I was the Dom, son. I'm telling you right now.
I'm curious. Do y'all know any of your stats from school?
No.
I got them all in the newspaper articles they used to write about me.
Playing offensive tackle, no.
Yeah, true.
9-year-old Jeffrey Lee was hell, big dog. Let me just tell you. 85-pound state champs.
Cole, the only stat I do know is I never had a holding penalty my first 3 years.
Ooh, that's a good stat, Zach.
That's a great stat.
Did you play tackle?
Yeah.
How tall are you? Are you 6'3"?
No, listen, I was playing at Baker, same place Bryce Kane plays, at 6 foot 250 at left tackle.
Yes. I bet you were a problem in the run game, though.
I'll listen. I love offensive line. I do like guard though for pass protection, bro. Because you like Cole, you know this. When you see like that slot corner walk down, and he runs a 4-3, and it's like I don't know how I'm getting there. I don't think it's possible.
The best thing in the world is I actually played right guard in high school. The best thing in the world is to be uncovered on a pass play. So you're just looking for work. You go bust somebody in the head, son. That's good stuff.
Yeah, a little cheap shit.
I played offensive line on offense. I played middle linebacker on defense, and played both ways because I went to a little school. So
there you
that
go.
Was the good old days.
I hear you on the both ways.
Was anybody all region or anything?
I made the all-star team my senior year.
Okay, there you go. All right, well, we'll give it to Cole. He was the best Christian in that league.
Hey,
but listen, I went to a small school, so let's not. I mean,
let's don't get religious on this show.
Hey, now.
I just bullshit. All right, hell, fantastic show. Do we have anything else we want to add in? Let's see here. Auburn is playing New Mexico State next week at home, 3:00 kickoff. Yeah, that's opening day of deer season. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Whoever scheduled that.
Auburn's 22-point favorites.
22-point favorites. New Mexico State. New Mexico State.
Yeah. Over under a 48.5.
Ooh.
Dude, I don't even care about that anymore. Jay Lee's losers are 2-0 the past 2 weeks.
That's almost like something to be proud of.
I feel pretty
That's
good.
pretty. Guess it's tough to be wrong consistently, just as tough as it is to be right consistently.
I mean, think about you taking a quarter and flipping it 10 times and being able to get right or wrong that many times in a row, 2 times.
See,
it's quality.
After that,
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm like dying of anticipation here.
You
have no idea what you said, Jhead.
We have no idea what you said.
Yeah, I blink out again. I said I'm thinking about naming my fantasy football team either Jay Lee's Losers or Connor's Stallions this time next year.
Nice.
Oh, me. All right, man. Great show. I thought it was going to be a great show. It absolutely was. We had a lot of football talk. We had a lot of recruiting talk, a lot of great questions, a lot of great comments. I think we have 15 callers that we finally got to. I apologize to everybody who didn't get through. Also, we're going to have this figured out next week. We want to be able to go back and forth with you, man. Although we do get to a lot more callers when we shut the hell up sometimes. You know what? Look at that going. Yeah. We got a 3.
We did.
Been talking.
We hit every caller that didn't hang up.
Okay. All right. We will be back. What are we going to do? We'll do a recruiting show Wednesday. Hey, man, listen, get locked into Auburn Live on 3. I'm telling you, if you haven't already, $1 for the first month. If you haven't already got signed up, you can use that special because we're going to have recruiting intel out the yin yang, and I think that's a Chinese word for butthole. Get signed up. Sorry about that, Jackson's mom.
Jackson's in the chat, dude.
Is he?
Yeah.
Go to bed, big dog. Go to bed.
That's good.
We will be back Wednesday for the recruiting show. So hit that like and subscribe button. Again, if you're looking for a house in or around Auburn, Opelika County. All right, it is Jackson. Hey, thank your mom and dad for not naming you Jackson with an X.
There you go.
Yeah, no doubt.
Give Jessica Andrews a call with their talents group, man. 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Thank y'all all so much for listening, for watching, for supporting us. We absolutely appreciate it. We love what we do. We love you guys. We love going back and forth. We're going to get that fixed next week. All right, that's going to do it, man. For Cole Pinkston, for Zach in the back who came to the front, for Jhead, I'm Jeffrey Lee. Man, y'all stay out of that left lane. See ya.